DeepSeek R1 is absolutely wild and out of control. You can see this breaking news that says Chinese AI platform DeepSeek overtakes ChatGPT on Apple's App Store download rankings in the United States. Now, today in this video, you're going to get my ultimate course to DeepSeek R1, including how to host DeepSeek R1 locally, how to build websites, tools, apps, how to create your own AI agents, how to control your whole browser using DeepSeek R1 on autopilot. Not just that, you're also going to see a comparison of ChatGPT o1 versus DeepSeek to compare them. You're going to see exactly how to build AI agents and automations and basically automate anything that you ever wanted to build using DeepSeek R1. Wild stuff. Let's get into it. And if this hasn't blown you away yet, let's get this straight, all right? This fascinating tweet says DeepSeek was built in under 2 months for less than $10 million, and it's now #1 on the App Store. On top of this, it was built with outdated chips and a small team of less than 200 people. Meanwhile, the US is pouring $500 billion into AI. And you can see that on the top charts for the App Store right now, DeepSeek is already dominated, it's already overtaken, and this has never been seen before. So let's compare, first of all, exactly how to use DeepSeek.com. This is how you can get access. I'll show you loads of different ways you can build and automate and create AI agents, and even your own version of ChatGPT operator using DeepSeek in this ultimate guide. So if you want to get free instant access, just click on Start Now on chat.deepseek.com. Then make sure you select DeepSeek R1. Now what's also interesting is you can actually search the web live as well using DeepSeek R1 inside the free chat, and you can run HTML, which means that you can build apps, websites, tools, and even preview them directly inside the chat. Now, whilst we're testing this out, we might as well see what performs better, the paid version of ChatGPT, aka ChatGPT o1, or the free version of DeepSeek R1 that was just recently released. So we're going to use exactly the same prompt, which is build an SEO, brand colors, make it beautiful, lots of emojis. We'll take that prompt and we'll plug it into ChatGPT o1, and we'll give ChatGPT o1 a head start. We've already selected R1 to make it a fair test, and we'll just see which one performs the best. Now you can see we're getting into thinking. Now, straight away, DeepSeek R1 is already off to the races and is already replying to us and building stuff out. And we have the outputs back from both now. Now, if we have a look at what we've got back here, inside ChatGPT, there's no option to directly preview the HTML code, all right? So if we go in here, we can't preview the actual HTML directly inside the chat, but we can inside DeepSeek, which already makes it easier to use. So if you run the HTML, we've got a nice little website ready to go. Let's just test it. Works perfectly, looks pretty nice and clean. You've just built your app in 2 seconds using this prompt. And again, this is free. DeepSeek R1 is free, whereas o1 is a paid tool. Now, if we do want to preview this code, let's say, for example, we'll copy that. Then we're going to go over to liveweave.com and we'll paste in the example prompt right here, and we can just preview these side by side. So we have the HTML version of DeepSeek, and we have ChatGPT o1's output over here, all right? Both built using exactly the same prompt. However, there's no extra information on the page from the DeepSeek from ChatGPT o1, whereas you can see that it's included more details on the page, more content, etc. They're both not bad, honestly, but I would probably go with this one just because it's got more information on the page. And additionally, we could just preview it directly inside DeepSeek, whereas inside ChatGPT, number one, it looks super buggy on the responsive mode. So you can see it's broken on the window there from what I can see, unless we zoom right out. And number two, there's no run HTML button directly inside the chat. And so that just shows you the power of DeepSeek R1. Like, this is completely free. It's cheap. If you use the API, it's way cheaper to build stuff. I'll show you how to build stuff and automate stuff later. This is a long course. And also you get better outputs, right? And additionally, it's much easier to preview what you've actually built using AI. And then any idea that comes to mind, you can just build it inside DeepSeek using whatever method you want based on what I show you today. So let's get straight into it. So now we've compared ChatGPT o1 versus DeepSeek. I'm sure there's loads of other tests you can do, but I just wanted to show you a brief overview. Now let's get into exactly how to use it step by step. Now, what's interesting about this is this model comes directly out of China, but it is completely open source. Its API, if you're using the API, is 96.4% cheaper. Plus, you can use it for free on the chat. I'll show you how. And if you look at the benchmarks, you can see this tweet by Ole. This is a Chinese versus American AI race. And look at these benchmarks, right? So the new version from DeepSeek R1 versus OpenAI O1 model, DeepSeek is actually beating the O1 model on many benchmarks, as you can see. So let's kick it off. The first place you're going to start. Now, if you want to get access to this, just go to deepseek.com and then you'll see this announcement at the top. So it says DeepSeek R1 is now live and open source, rivaling OpenAI's model, available on web, app, and API. So you can actually get an app for it as well. And then if we click on the Start Now option, from here inside the chat, just make sure you click on DeepThink. This is how you're going to get access to the reasoning model. Otherwise, it'll just be on DeepSeek version 3. So from here, we're going to say something like, what model are you? Just to double check. And you can see it's also got search integrated. But as you can see here, it says, I'm DeepSeek R1, an AI assistant created exclusively by the Chinese company DeepSeek. I'll do my best to help you. Now, this model is actually really good at reasoning and logic, obviously, so it's great for coding, building tools, and answering questions that require a lot of thinking. For example, if we put in a test like, name an English adjective of Latin origin that begins and ends with the same letter, has 11 letters in total, and for which all vowels in the word are ordered alphabetically, right? Not an easy task, sir. So we're going to hit enter, and you can see it's now thinking. So you actually get the internal thought process of DeepSeek R1 as it's going through the motions. It's like, right, okay, let's tackle the problems. The user wants an English blah, blah, blah. That's a bit tricky, but let's break it down step by step. What's very interesting about this is it actually feels quite sentient when you read the thinking process. So, for example, it's breaking down exactly what it's thinking, how it's breaking it all down, the thought process, step by step, and also what it's trying that's not working, right? So, for example, wait, maybe sacrilegious, ends a verse, starts a verse, so let's check. Wait, that's 12 letters. No, it can't be that. And it literally breaks down a step-by-step process. For example, it's still thinking now, but if you actually count the word count on there, it's running through a lot of ideas. It's already done 2,000 words of thinking that it's relayed to us. Super interesting. And it feels weird, like reading it. It feels like you're looking at a human's inner monologue and it's just going to go. So we're going to test this out. We'll put in, for example, how many R's are in strawberry. And you can see here, like the way that it thinks is super human, right? So it reads like an inhuman monologue. For example, it's, okay, let me start by writing down the words so I can check the letter one by one. Let me go through each letter at step. Wait, in the word strawberry, the letters are strawberry, so the R's are at position 3, 8, and 9. That's 3 R's. Wait, that can't be right. Let me count again. Let's write the letters for their positions. Then it starts going through the motions here and highlights the 3 instances of strawberry. Whereas, for example, if you're using like a really basic model like ChatGPT-4, which is not a logic and reasoning model, and we ask it how many R's are in strawberry. So it passes the strawberry test. So now we're going to test it again. I'm going to say create a free SEO cost calculator. And the thing about this is you can actually run HTML directly inside the chat, right? So once it builds a tool and codes it out, you can actually run it. So it's got an artifacts feature directly in the chat here. What's super interesting is just looking through the thought process and seeing, okay, how has it built it? Why has it built it like that? And it's looking at, okay, here's the main considerations. So using my ones presented on the website, so maybe suggest embedding the Google Sheet, etc. And then it gives us multiple options. So for example, option 1 creates a Google Sheet with the tool and you can build it like that. The other option is that you can host a HTML and it is self-hosted with the HTML code. And if we actually run the code like so, you can see it's working here and we can just test it out before we embed it. So for example, monthly budget, 100, keywords to target, basic services needed, hit calculate, and it does its magic perfectly. So it can build tools in seconds for any sort of website, create the HTML, and you're ready to go. And that was super fast. The other thing to note here is that it's open source, but you can use it commercially as well. So number 1 will say build a Space Invaders game, and it already has knowledge of Space Invaders, plus it knows how to build it, plus it's creating it as self-contained inside the DeepSeek chat here so that we can just run it in a second. And the other thing I would say here is it seems to be really fast. When it's replying, it seems to work like really quickly. If we hit run HTML, you see it working. And yeah, seems to be pretty crazy how easy that is to set up. Let's test something else now. So what we're going to do from here is we're going to grab this course outline. So we're going to grab that semantic outline from Phrase.io and we're going to optimize our article perfectly based on the recommended headings, LSIs, etc. using Phrase, right? So Phrase actually reverse engineers the first page of Google, figures out how to optimize your article, and then gives you the recommendations. So for example, you got the recommended word count, which is 1,560 words. The keyword is best SEO trainer. And then from here, we're just going to take these LSI and NLP keywords that are basically like semantics to optimize inside the article. So let's paste that into our prompt. And then finally, we'll add the recommended outline from Phrase as well, right? Basically, what we're trying to do with the advanced reasoning model inside DeepSeek R1 is create like a perfectly optimized article based on the recommendations from phrase, right? So we're going to say, create the best SEO optimized article you can using the suggested headings, titles, LSIs, keywords, NLPs, and semantics in the suggested quantity below, right? It's a super logical but detailed outline prompt to see how well this article can optimize for the algorithm, right? Now, the thing to note here is it's not going to write the content perfectly for the user, but it is going to write it perfectly for semantics. And now it's building out the article using the semantic and NLP keywords we talked about earlier, and we'll see how well that performs step by step. It's really fast in just creating the content as well, which is super interesting. And let's check the word count. So we asked it to build out an article with 1,560 words. It's done 782, so that's not a great start, to be honest with you. But let's plug this in the article and just see how it performs. So if we go to optimize here, yeah, you can see, look at that, 84% optimization, right? And your competitors are average of 38. So it basically followed the instructions aside from the word count almost perfectly, right? So it's included all the semantics. So we asked it to, with the relevant word count, in the relevant quantities, like you can see right here, pretty much everything's green there. Pretty wild. And it's very good at just following like detailed, logical recommendations. The other interesting thing here is if you ask a human to do this, how long would it take them and how much work would that involve? A lot, right? Whereas you can just automate it using this process. And then of course, if you're going to publish this blog for SEO, you would add the final finishing quality touches before you publish. But yeah, very impressive how powerful this is. Considering this is all free, right? For example, ChatGPT o1, you would be paying for. This model is completely free. What we're going to test next is creating a one-page website. So I'm going to say create a one-page website for the niche, insert my niche here. You can customize it however you want. I want to say make it beautiful, plus modern, plus sleek with relevant emojis and headings, etc. Keyword equals this, source context equals this, some personal information about me, and then link throughout the website, etc. to my funnels. So we'll grab this prompt, like we're going to go back into DeepSeek R1, plug that in, and you can see how it plans out. So let's have a look what it's thinking about here. So I need to create a new one-page website for the keyword. User wants it to be beautiful, modern, and sleek with emojis and headings. Here's how I'm going to start. So I'm going to outline the structure, add the features, styling-wise, here's what it should look like, and it is built that out already. How quick was that? So actually looks really nice little setup here. It's got, if we click on that, it actually takes us to the relevant landing page that we requested. So that works perfect. And the design is super nice, right? It's also responsive too. It's even created, for example, a name for the brand, laid out the features, etc. on the page. Super easy and fast to do. So you can build out websites, tools, apps, etc. directly inside DeepSeek R1, and it is completely free to use inside the chat. Pretty impressive stuff. Let's test it out now for building apps. So I'm going to say create a synth keyboard that's retro plus plays music. So I am impressed with the speed. I do think that used to take ages when I used to DeepSeek's model, and it's built out the keyboard with using the web audio API, so it knows which API to use, which is pretty nice too. We haven't even tested out the search model as well. I'm interested to see what that does. But yeah, we've got the retro keyboard ready to go.
That is working perfectly as well.
I've never seen a design like that when I've tested out similar prompts, so that looks pretty cool. And then let's just test out the search process here. You can't use DeepThink and search at the same time, actually. So for example, if you click on search, it will deselect DeepThink. So you can only use one or the other. Now, what would also be interesting is comparing these models side by side. So if we take, for example, ChatGPT o1, and we compare that versus DeepSeek, so let's do that right now, and we can see which one is fastest plus which one provides the best results. So we're going to say create a landing page website for my SEO agency, details below, make it as amazing and beautiful and modern as possible, details of my service below. We'll just grab all the information that I've already got on my website. Let's grab that, we'll plug that in, right? So personalize this, a website design. We'll paste exactly the same thing into ChatGPT o1 versus DeepSeek, and we'll compare them side by side. So let's hit enter on both of those, and we'll see what we get back and how they perform. You get a lot more notes and details from, for example, DeepSeek. So if you look at the output here, you've got a lot more information from DeepSeek than you have directly from ChatGPT o1. Now let's pull this up directly. So what's interesting here is if you go into ChatGPT o1, it's not actually built out the website, right? So it's not coding it, which is what we wanted it to do. Whereas if you go inside DeepSeek R1, actually created the HTML and knew exactly what we wanted. It basically understood the search intent and the intent of myself much better than o1. Now, here's the thing you have to know. o1 is a paid tool. DeepSeek R1 is free, right? But we've got a much better output from DeepSeek R1 than we have from ChatGPT. So if we hit run HTML as well, it's created the website exactly how we wanted it. It's taken similar content from our landing page, even added a nice little contact page. It's super simple, but it does the job. And considering that ChatGPT o1 couldn't even figure out what we wanted here, I would say DeepSeek R1 is winning in that respect. So thanks so much for watching. As you can see, DeepSeek R1 is super powerful, plus it's free and is very comparable to GPT-o1. In fact, we actually got better outputs from DeepSeek version GPT-o1 today. And you can see what I've actually done is created 100 different use cases and prompts that you can use to generate whatever you want using DeepSeek, and you can test those out, along with a step-by-step SOP on exactly how to use DeepSeek so that you can get free access to it and understand exactly how to use it step by step. So if you want all of that, feel free to get it inside my free SEO course. Log into my free SEO course, link in the comments description, then go to free SEO tools and then DeepSeek R1. This SEO course is absolutely amazing. It's about 2 or 3 years of work at this point with 221 lessons. And it's all completely free for you to access. It's got tons of SOPs, tutorials, tips, templates, etc. On top of that, what you also find in there is a section on AI agents. 2025 is the year of AI agents, so you definitely want to learn and get ahead on that. And I'll show you exactly how to build those out. If you get access to the free SEO course, you also get access to a free community of 3,400 members, a free SEO course, 50 free SEO tools, and 200 free ChatGPT prompts. Feel free to get that link in the comments description. And if you want to get a free one-to-one SEO strategy session, feel free to put that in. Link in the comments description. We'll show you how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 visitors a month and generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales on autopilot. On this free link building acceleration session, you'll get a free SEO domination plan to discover the secrets of SEO link building. We'll answer any questions you have one-to-one. You'll learn best link building strategy for your website, plus how to quickly outrank your competitors to link building and how to 10x your SEO traffic based on what's working for us and our happy clients. So if you want to get more leads, traffic, sales to your website and grow your business, feel free to book that in. How to build anything with DeepSeek R1. DeepSeek R1 is absolutely wild. It's a free model that you can run locally. And I'm going to show you today how to run one of the world's most powerful AI models locally, how to build anything with DeepSeek R1, and how to automate anything with DeepSeek R1. This is a free rival to ChatGPT o1's model. I'll show you some of the best ways to use it today. No coding, no PhD, just copy, paste, and boom, you can build literally anything. Websites, tools, automations without knowing a single line of code. And this sounds almost too good to be true, right? Like the stuff your weird cousin Dave brags about at Thanksgiving, but here's the kicker. It's free, it's fast, and it's easier than assembling IKEA furniture. No Allen wrench needed. Let's go. All right, so if you want to run DeepSeek locally so that you can build different things with it, what you want to do is go to Llama, download that. It's completely free. And then once you've done that, you're going to go to models and you need Llama installed locally so that you can run DeepSeek locally inside your terminal commands. So what you do is select the model that you want. Obviously, some are bigger than others. So for example, we can select DeepSeek R1 and then we can take this terminal command like you can see right here. And that just allows us to run this model locally. So as an example of that, let's open up terminal now. Then we can plug in the command for terminal and you can see now it's beginning to download that update directly, locally on our laptop. Super fast and easy to do. Now, something to note here is when you're downloading these models, these are distilled models, right? Basically what that means is that these are smaller models you can run with less memory locally and then still get the benefits of it. So for example, smaller models can be powerful too. We demonstrate that the reasoning patterns of large models can be distilled into smaller models, resulting in better performance compared to the reasoning patterns discovered through RL on small models. So basically what they've done is they've fine-tuned dense models that are widely used in the research community. For example, some of these models are based on like Qwen 2.5 and Llama 3 series using R1. So for example, if we go back here, we're downloading DeepSeek 7B. It has comparable performance to OpenAI o1, which is a paid model. You can see that is actually based on Qwen 2.5 maths, right? So 7B, Qwen 2.5, that's the one that we're downloading right now. You can also get Qwen 1.5B as well. That's a smaller model that is faster and requires less resources to run locally. So that took probably about 5 or 10 minutes to download, and that is ready to go inside a terminal. And you can just send a message to make sure it works. So for example, hello, good way to start the conversation, and you can see it's responded to us right here. So now we can test it out with some prompts that we've used previously on the chat version of R1. So if you wanted to say build a tool, you can just go straight to the terminal and you would just paste this in. So we can say create a free SEO cost calculator. Then you're going to hit enter and it's going to start thinking about it. Now, what I really like about this is you do get the thoughts. It's weird seeing it on the terminal. Like, it feels a little bit more of a stranger vibe, and you can see the chain of thought running here. You can basically see the reasoning and what it's doing and what it's thinking about, right, step by step. Now, once it's thought of the whole process, like you can see right here, what you want to do from here is then just say, okay, give me the HTML, CSS, and JS for this website landing page. Then we can hit enter, and you can see that it's running through the HTML right here. Now, bear in mind as well, when you're using DeepSeek reasoning, it's a logical model, which means that it's going to take more time to respond. It's not, for example, ChatGPT 4.0 or DeepSeek version 3, which usually takes quite a long time to get back to you and reply with the outputs. So, which, for example, DeepSeek version 3 or GPT 4.0, these models reply to you way faster. But the thing is, the outputs are not as well thought out. It's also pretty amazing that within 10 or 15 minutes, you can get one of the most powerful AI models in the world running locally on your laptop. And I have zero coding experience. I literally just copied and pasted a terminal command, and we were good to go on that. What sort of world do we live in right now? It's pretty wild, to be honest with you. So now we're going to take the HTML, and we'll just test this out. If we go over to liveweave.com, we've plugged in the HTML that we got from the local model. And you can see we've just built a tool in literally seconds using this process. It looks pretty nice, really easy to build, completely free. Built it locally on our terminal, so no data going anywhere. And for example, if we put a test, and we'll hit calculate SEO cost, the cost calculator works absolutely perfectly. Just wild stuff, if you ask me. Just amazing how easy that was. Now, that was a really simple prompt. We can take it to another level because obviously this is a reasoning model, so we can build stuff that's more complex. But you can see how easy it is to build whatever you want using this process step by step. So let's test out another prompt because that first one was just too easy. We're going to take this one and say, create a one-page website for the niche, video, SEO, ranking surface, make it beautiful, modern, sleek, and designed with relevant emojis, keyword equals, source context, etc. Basically, just build out a really nice landing page using DeepSeek. Now, I do like the fact that you can just go inside the chat here. You don't really have to interact with a UI. That makes things super easy. And so now we're going to paste in that prompt, and that's just going to start using its magic. The other thing you can do if you want to host this HTML file without using a live previewer is you can just save it as HTML, open it in the web browser as well. So that's another way to do this. Now it's going to start thinking about how to build out that website, and it's just coming up with all the ideas for it. One thing I want you to note here is whilst we're doing this, we can run it locally. I'm going to show you many ways to build and automate things using DeepSeek R1 today. So you don't just have to run it locally. If you just go onto deepseek.com, then go to start now, you can start building out your idea here as well. And just make sure you have DeepThink enabled because that allows you to use R1. If you deselect that, then you will be using DeepSeek version 3, which is a faster model, but it's not necessarily good for logic and reasoning. Bear in mind, if you're trying to build stuff, DeepSeek R1 is one of the best models you can use simply because it's got a lot of logic, it's got a lot of reason, it's great for coding, etc. It thinks things out, which you're not going to get with normal AI models. So we're going to head into and that can start building this out for you. Now, the other benefit of using the chat directly is, number one, it is also free. But number two, when you're doing this, you can actually run HTML live inside your browser, which makes it just super easy to preview the HTML. You don't have to go to liveweave.com or anything to check that out. And you can see it's building out the HTML right here. If we go back to terminal and we'll see how we're getting on right now. So it's built out the HTML. Let's grab this. You can already see some emojis and the way that it's been built in the code. Now we're going to grab that and we're going to run over to LiveWeave again. We'll replace the old code for the cost calculator, plug in the new code, and we have the website back. Honestly, that's one of the worst outputs I've seen from DeepSeek in terms of, if you look at the colors, it's not very well thought out at all there. The rest of the page is okay, like the why choose us, bullet points, the CTA, the contact us, etc. That's pretty nice. That's okay. It's not quite up to standard. This bit is terrible. So let's see what we get back inside DeepSeek on the chat and see if that gives us better outputs. So we're going to hit run HTML and look at the difference of that, right? That's wild. So I think for building websites, I would actually use the chat. Like, it just seems 10 times better. You've got the nice emojis on there. You've got the nice design, etc. That's basically perfect, isn't it? Honestly, this looks better than what Bolt previously designed for me, which number one, took a lot more time. And number two, is a paid tool, right? Whereas, for example, DeepSeek, you can just grab the HTML from this, put it into Netlify, get it hosted, you got a website ready to go, really quick and easy. So for coding tools, it seems like the chat on deepseek.com is much better for outputs. Either way, you've got a lot of options there. Let's move on to another way that you can build stuff with DeepSeek R1. And after this, we'll come on to automation, right? So I've shown you how to build websites and tools already. I've shown you how to get access to this for free and install it locally so you can start building. Let's talk about automations. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at a DeepSeek version 3 content creator that I previously made inside make.com. Is actually free for 1,000 operations per month. And if we go to this automation like so, the way that you're going to be using this is you're actually going to select Open Router. Now, if you're not sure how to get access to Open Router, let me show you. What you wouldn't do is you're not going to add a new module and then type in DeepSeek inside make.com, because I've tested that. And honestly, the API is not very good, particularly when it comes to using the newer models, right? So the way that you want to use make.com, and I'll show you how to build these automations in a second, is via a open router, right? Now, if you want an API key, all you do is you go to openrouter.ai, settings/keys, create key, and then you can get your key like so. Now, inside Open Router, we're going to then select the model inside this module right here. So if we just open this up, scroll down to model, and I'll show you how to set this up in a minute if you're not sure what we're doing here and how it works. But you would select from the list. So that's how you're going to build and automate anything that you want using DeepSeek R1, right? And actually, this is really awesome because if you want access to more APIs, let's say you don't want to pay for the DeepSeek R1 model, which is pretty cheap comparatively to O1, then you can type in free in the list here, and there's so many APIs you can get access for free. So for example, like Gemini Experimental, these are like really brand new models, Meta Llama, Microsoft Phi, Hugging Face, etc. Right? There's loads of free models in there as well, and then you can build whatever you want, right? And you've got this automation ready to go. So let me show you how to set these up and how it works step by step. So basically, inside make.com, what it's doing is it's connecting multiple apps. So you can create automations and basically let apps speak to each other, right? So in this example, we're going from Google Sheets to OpenRouter to WordPress, right? And basically, we're taking a keyword from this Google Sheet, we're plugging that through OpenRouter with this prompt. So you can see it's quite an in-depth prompt. And then we're plugging that over to WordPress to automate the output. Now, I'll show you what the output looks like in a second. I honestly don't think that it's good for creating content versus, say, other models like Claude. But let me show you how you can set any of these automations up. So what you would do is you would go to add a new module. Then from here, you're going to select whichever app you want to connect. And bear in mind, the only limit that you have here is your own creativity, right? So if you come up with an idea, you're like, I want DeepSeek R1 to manage my emails. All you would do is you would connect Gmail, like you can see right here. You would say, watch my emails. Then you would add a module. So for example, you would add OpenRouter, like you can see. To do that, it's pretty simple. All you would do is right click, add a module, type in OpenRouter, connect your API, then select create a chat completion. And then from here, you're going to select DeepSeek R1, right? And then you can take all the information from Gmail, plug that into DeepSeek, and then you're going to add a new Gmail connection, which is create a draft. And you can just draft the email based on the response from OpenRouter, right? And basically when you're setting this up, you're going from Gmail, you're basically feeding in all the information on your emails from Gmail. Then you're sending that over to OpenRouter. How do you do that? You just take the content from the Gmail automation. So for example, the email body, everything else. So here you've got the HTML content that you can take, the subject line, etc., who the email was from. And then you would select user, and inside the content as well, you'd be like, okay, an email response for me based on my latest emails, right? And then you would feed in the information from here. After that, you're going to send it over to Gmail. You can actually, you can get DeepSeek to come up with the subject line, the content, boom shakalaka. You just run that. You set this up to run every 15 minutes and the automation is just live and kicking, right? That's basically how it would work. So once you've connected all the apps that you want to plug in, and I've got other videos on this on YouTube if you need like a more in-depth explainer, then you can test this out, right? So for example, we can click to choose this manually. This will take my spreadsheet, look at the data inside the spreadsheet. So for example, like the keywords, so like Spring Hill SEO, then it's going to plug that through OpenRouter. OpenRouter is then going to send that to WordPress and create a draft blog post. Let me show you how this works. So for example, we're going to hit run once, and we just need to plug in the API key first. All right, so you get your API key and you're going to plug it directly in here before you run the automation. We'll hit save on that. And now you can see that the automation is running nicely, right? So it's taken the keyword from the spreadsheet and you can see the keyword right there, Newark SEO. Then it's running the completion through OpenRouter. And bear in mind, like I say, you can automate anything, you can connect this to anything. And even though the API is so brand new, it's already connecting to make.com because of OpenRouter, right? Then it's create the outputs here, and then it's send it over to WordPress, like you can see. So let's check what we got on WordPress directly. So now you can see inside WordPress, we have that article drafted. We can just proofread it, edit it, and then publish it, right? What's really cool about this is you can actually format in HTML, so you can create like your own blogging tool with custom prompts, uniquely personalized to you, your brand, your business. Then you can get DeepSeek to actually draft the content directly, and the content itself is actually pretty nice, right? Honestly, we're at the stage now where AI content is better written than humans if you have the right prompts, right? For example, you see here it says why Newark SEO isn't just about ranking higher, it's about getting seen by the right people. Think about it, someone types in best piece of Newark into Google, and you can see here I was just using like really personalized case studies and examples to be convincing in the content. And you can also see here there's no like negative AI fluff words or anything like that. If you also check inside here, we've got the internal links from our website, so it's linking to other pages directly on the website. And these are not hallucinated, these are like perfectly done with the sitemap that we plugged into the automation. And yeah, pretty amazing stuff, honestly. If you want to get the blueprints and everything from that, just check out my free SEO course. Link in the comments. There's loads of stuff on like DeepSeek automations and AI agents directly inside my free SEO course. But you can see how easy it is to, number one, connect DeepSeek R1 inside make.com for automations. And then number two, create something very high quality that you would normally pay for, right? For example, a blogging tool, you might be paying before, I don't know, if you go back like 12 months, you might have been paying like $200, $300 a month for a tool like this. Now you can build your own. Make.com is free for 1,000 operations per month. And then DeepSeek's API is very cheap. So just to recap so far, I've shown you how to host DeepSeek R1 locally and build tools with it. I've shown you how to build websites directly inside the DeepSeek chat with R1 completely for free. And these websites look pretty nice, as you can see. Then additionally, I've shown you how to automate and connect DeepSeek R1 to any sort of app that you can imagine and build basically your own SaaS tool in minutes using this process. Plus, I've shown you proof that actually works and creates something fairly nice. And by the way, if you're wondering how much this cost me, so I topped up $10 last week. And if we look at the usage here, we can see that DeepSeek blog post we just created with the automation cost us 0.0, right? So basically extremely cheap. And this is an open source model as well. And you can get access for free. Now, another way to get access to this is if you get Visual Studio Code, which is completely free to download. Then what you're going to do is head over to extensions and make sure you have Client installed. So if we download Client, just make sure you install it. And then once that's done, you can see the Client icon over here. Now, inside Client, if you go to Settings and then select OpenRouter, plug in your OpenRouter API key. You already know how to do that, but we'll grab one. Go back to Visual Studio Code, plug that in here, and then just select the model that you want. Now, obviously, if you're using R1, you would just search R1 in the model, drop down, select DeepSeek R1, as you can see, hit save like so. And I've got this set on auto approve. This kind of Client and Visual Studio Code are kind of like a no-code editing tool, similar to Cursor or Bolt, and it creates some really nice stuff. So let me show you some examples. So for example, we'll take this information like so, go back to Visual Studio Code and say, create a website for Julian Gold's SEO agency. Here's my details. And then what we're also going to do is just take some information about me so that we can customize the project. Now, if you have clients or you want to get more customers, one thing I was speaking to an SEO Elite Circle member of ours recently about, using this to build custom-made landing pages for his potential clients. Then he hosts them, sends them to the client. You know, they take like 2 minutes to build with these sort of no-code AI tools. And obviously that separates you from all the other agencies or service providers you're trying to compete with, right? Really powerful way to just customize things and get better at. Basically use this as a sales tool, right? So there's so many opportunities, not just for websites, not just for tools, but also for sales, for prospecting, for keeping customers happy, etc. You can build all sorts of cool custom stuff. I mean, for example, I bet if you have a lot of customers, if you have a lot of clients, giving them free tools you've made with AI, that's what we do for our clients. They absolutely love that. It's a great way to keep them happy. So we're going to take the About Me information as well from my website. We'll just plop it down there. We're going to hit enter like so. Using DeepSeek R1, this is using the API request here. The other cool thing I like about this as well is you actually get the API costs as you go along. So you get a lot of visibility in terms of how much this is costing you, what are you building, etc. You can see the code as well as it's being built out, which is super useful. And Klein is such an underrated tool, like it's so powerful. And whilst we're waiting for that to load, let's talk about use cases for all of this, right? Let's make it very, very practical. So first thing I would say is like, what can you use R1 for? Well, creating apps, creating a website, creating a blog, creating local SEO sites, affiliate sites, building tools, automating basically anything between make.com and R1, and then also creating content for your website as well. So let's go back to Klein now. We'll see how it's doing. So it's still building out the project. You are going to find that projects typically take longer if you're using the R1 model. And now you can see that's finished. It did take a few minutes to build that. You can see it literally costs us $0.07. Super cheap. I mean, to get something like that done, it would take normally weeks. It would cost a lot of money as well to get an agency to do that for you. And we've got the agency website ready to go. Like you can see, looks pretty nice and clean. Information about me, I can just insert a picture here. Information about our services, plus a nice little contact us form. And it's all fitted to the brand colors as well. Super simple and easy to do. The other great thing about Client as well, like it will actually execute the command so that you can just click a button. It will open up the HTML in your browser. Boom, you're ready to go. All right, so thanks so much for watching. As I've shown you, you can get access to the chat for free and build things with DeepSeek. You can also use DeepSeek R1 locally. That is also completely free. Make.com is free as well. And the API is very cheap, but you don't need that to build anything with DeepSeek. You can just use the chat or local. Additionally, if you want to automate stuff completely for free, then what you can do is get Make.com's free executions, plug in Open Routers, which is free, and then use the free APIs directly in Open Router. So what I've actually done is I've plugged this directly into an SOP step by step, so you know exactly how to install it, locally test it, etc. Some different prompts, and additionally, you can see how to automate tasks. We've created the SOP for that. On top of that, you also find 100 different use cases for productivity, coding, content creation, business marketing, etc. If you want to learn how to use DeepSeek R1 and how you can use it step by step for whatever business or whatever cool stuff you want to build. Now, you will get access to all the notes from today inside my free SEO course. Link in the comments description. Comes with over 222 lessons on AI SEO, including keyword research, content, link building, traffic diversification, AI agents of free SEO tools. And if you scroll down to the SEO system section like this, then go down to DeepSeek, you can grab the video notes right there. Boom shakalaka. Additionally, if you want to get a free one-to-one SEO strategy session that shows you how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 visitors a month and generate hundreds of thousands of dollars on autopilot in sales, feel free to get that link in the comments description. We'll give you a free SEO domination plan, so you'll get a custom tailored link building plan so you can generate more lead sales and profits from your website. You'll discover the secrets of SEO link building. We'll answer any questions that you have, so one-to-one, you can ask us any questions. You can learn the best link building strategies for your website, plus how to quickly outrank you and how to 10x SEO traffic based on what's working for us and our happy clients, like you can see right here. Feel free to get that link in the comments description. Here's how to automate anything with DeepSeek R1, and it could be one of the biggest productivity hacks of the year. Today, I'm going to show you how to automate DeepSeek R1 directly with Make and Klein for pure automation magic. And if you want to automate your emails, your blogs, your social media, your websites, even apps, you can do it all using DeepSeek R1. I'll show you exactly how to do it. We won't be using the chat directly. This is using some other productivity tools, and it's basically the Avengers of automation. Now, one of the best things as well about this is that you can actually use Make and plug in the API. I'll show you exactly how to do it because it's not what you think, and you have to use a different technique, which I'll come on to in a minute. And I'll also show you how to get access to hundreds of free automations using Make.com because you can get access. They do have a completely free plan like you can see right here, and then you can just plug in your API. I'll show you how to do that in a sec. Let's go. All right, so first place you're going to start is at make.com. Then we're going to log in and you just create an account. Pretty simple stuff. Now from here, once you're in, you're just going to go to scenarios and you can basically build out all these different automations like you can see right here. So for example, we've automated auto blogging. We've automated, for example, social media distribution, reciprocal content improvement workflows, even like email virtual assistants, right? It's super simple to do inside Make. So what you're going to do is create a new scenario like you see right here. So if you want to do, just to recap on the steps, you go to scenarios, then go to create a new scenario, and then from here, you're going to start building stuff out, right? As an example of this, we'll go back to new scenario, Then we're going to go down to virtual assistants, email virtual assistant. And then inside here, what you can see is this is taking content from Gmail. So our emails that are coming inbound, then it's going to ChatGPT, then it's going to Gmail. But we don't want ChatGPT anymore. That is old news, my friends. And instead, we're going to switch through to a totally different connection. So I'm going to delete that module. All right. And by the way, all the templates, all the blueprints from today, they're inside my free course, link in the comments description. And if we type in, for example, Open Router, this is what you want to use. Now, what you don't want to use is DeepSeek directly, because from what I've seen, just doesn't work. Like the integration just doesn't work. You're going to be going back and forth with it like a yo-yo, getting super frustrated. Don't be like me. Instead, go to Open Router, create a chat completion, connect. We're going to drag that down. We'll unlink that. Then we're going to drag it in the middle. We'll keep this super neat and auto-aligned. And if you're wondering, okay, how do you connect Open Router to make.com? So you actually just click on add over there, and then you can just plug in your API key. If you're not sure how to get an API key, then what you could do is if you go to openrouter.ai/settings/keys, and then just create a key directly inside there. Now, one of the other things to note here is like when you're using API calls directly inside make.com, if you're using ChatGPT, it's going to be a lot more expensive than if you're using DeepSeek, because DeepSeek's API is much cheaper, especially with the new release of DeepSeek R1. So from here, we've already got this connected, so I'm just going to X off that, but you know how to set it up now. Then we're going to select the model, and you can see all these different models, right? Now, just a little quick tip for you. If you type in free, there's a ridiculous amount, an absolute redonkulous amount of free API models that you can get access to, including the new one from Gemini 2.0 Flash Thinking. But for now, we're going to focus on DeepSeek R1 because that's what I promised. And we're going to click on that. And then inside here, we can just take a message, right? So for example, we could take the text content from this email here. We'll select this to user. And I'm going to say, okay, need reply to my email from Gmail. All right. And I'm also going to give you like an access to a ridiculous amount of automations in a second, but we'll come on to that later. And I'll first of all show you how to set up and make automation super simple with DeepSeek R1. So basically, we're taking the content from Gmail. It's going to pull in the information from each email that comes into our inbox. Then that's going to send it over to Open Router. We're going to be using Deep R1 to create an automation where we answer our emails directly based on this, right? We'll hit save like so. That's taking the text information there. What we can also do as well is we can include, for example, like the subject line, and we could put subject and then email content here, right? So the prompt knows, okay, this is the email content, this is the subject line. You could also, for example, like include the reply to address. So you say person who emailed me, right? And then we're going to hit save. Pretty simple so far. And then now what we're going to do is we're going to delete that. We're going to click on reply to address. Subject line, we'll keep the subject line the same. And then from here, I delete that. We're going to say, okay, content equals the choices from DeepSeek R1 inside the content, right? And so basically what you can see here, just to explain the automation before we run it, is we're taking the content from Gmail that's just plugged in. This runs for each email. Then that's going to run through to DeepSeek R1. DeepSeek R1 is going to construct the reply to the email. And then inside the Gmail section here, we've got the subject line already filled in. We've got the email address already filled in. And it will just use the content and the choices based on what DeepSeek comes up with right here. And so basically, literally in a few clicks, you know, this is not taking long at all, has it? Let's be honest. We've automated something that would probably take hundreds of hours to handle in the future. And just something to note here as well is that we've actually created a draft here. We're not going to send the email straight away, simply because, you know, it is AI. It's not perfect. It does lack a bit of common sense sometimes. We don't want to mess anything up, right? And if you're wondering, okay, how do I add these modules? So if you want to add Gmail, you just click on Gmail, all right? Then that's going to watch your emails. If you want to add a Gmail, create a draft module, you can just click on the plus sign, Gmail, create a draft, boom, shakalaka, we're in, right? And then you just connect to your email address. If you're wondering how we link these together, it's pretty simple. So if I just right click and then unlink that, you would just drag that over there, right? And that just links them back up again. This is based on chronological order. So it's going from Gmail to DeepSeek to Gmail, right? Really, really simple and easy to understand. I actually find this a lot faster and easier than setting up a Zapier. So from here, we're going to click on run once and we shall see what we get back. Just one thing to note here as well before we run that is that you can actually choose the folder that you want to pull in the emails from, right? So for example, if you just want to take it from your inbox, pretty simple right there. And if we click on choose where to start, what I'm going to do is just send a test email to myself so we can use this as a test run to see what happens next. So we'll send the test email to myself, and then we can use that for the make automation. So as an example of that, we got this email to answer right here. We're going to hit save. We shall just run this bad boy just to show you an example of what this looks like, right? So that's now running through DeepSeek is answering the email. Obviously something like R1, it is a powerful, logical reasoning model. You probably don't need it to answer your emails, but I just want to give you an example of what this looks like, right? And how you can automate anything that you come up with. Now, the only limit to any of this is your own creativity, because, for example, if you have an idea for a tool, for a workflow, for an automation, etc., then you can pretty much create whatever you want inside make.com, as long as it's linked to like some main apps. All right, so DeepSeek is now running the automation, like you can see, answering the email. It is a reasoning model, so it's typically not going to be as fast as, say, DeepSeek version 3. But DeepSeek version 3 as well is available inside make.com. You can just switch in the model section of OpenRouter. And so that's just going to get done right here, and then it will fire it off back to Gmail. So now you can see the automation is completed, and we have the email written right here. Now, a few things I would improve on this. Number one, obviously you can improve the prompt to get much better outputs, but you get the idea. Now, once the automation is completing, like you see, you can actually see the output right here. So for example, you can see that it's taken the AI automation information, the text content, etc., directly from our emails. Here's another example. So if we go to the DeepSeek content creator previously built with, I'm actually just going to duplicate that. All right. So if you go to options and then clone in the top right, we'll change this to DeepSeek R1. I'll show you how simple it is, because every time a new DeepSeek model gets released, and it does seem to happen more and more often, then it's quite easy to just update this with the OpenRouter module. That's the beauty of it. It's like, if there's a new API that comes out, all you do is you switch the model down here. So for example, previously we were using DeepSeek R. Now we're going to switch it to DeepSeek R1, and we'll hit save on that. Then we'll choose a keyword that we want to create content for based on my spreadsheet. So let's take, for example, Spring Hill. And if we run this, what it's going to do is it's going to take the keyword from Google Sheets, create an article with it using DeepSeek, and then plug that into WordPress. Let me show you exactly how this works step by step. So it's now creating the content, and once it's created the content, like you can see, it's actually going to send that over to WordPress. So for example, if we go on here, this is one actually created yesterday. We can preview the article, and basically what it's done is it's taken the content, it's taken the keyword from our spreadsheet, plugged that through DeepSeek R1. R1 has then written the content and plugged it directly into WordPress. And from there, we've got a blog post ready to go. Now, if you want more ideas on automations you can actually build, if you go to make.com/en/templates, then go to AI, there's a whole section on different templates that you can take here, right? And all you would do is swap out the ChatGPT module for DeepSeek R1, right? So for example, like automating blog to social media, Telegram bot, using like a ChatGPT Telegram bot, summarizing emails and sending it to Slack, right? There's just so much you can do, and so many different apps you can link together. You can even do like web scraping, Perplexity, sending WhatsApp messages, etc. Like whatever you want to do is pretty much on this list. And now this is finally sent to WordPress. I do think because it's just been released recently, maybe the API is a little bit slower than normal, but you can see here on the page, we've got the article ready to go. That was pretty simple and easy to do. It's added the internal links inside our content. You can see the history as well. If you just click on the ones, you can see how far it's run. And then here's all the content ready to go. And that was really simple and easy to do. Along with that, inside the prompt that we use inside make.com, it's actually personalized the content to our funnels, to our internal links, to our sitemap, and it's even pitched what we're selling, as you can see right here. So really simple and powerful, but it works beautifully. You can also just automate this so it runs every 15 minutes, which means it's going to check your spreadsheet every 15 minutes for new updates. If it finds an update, the automation will run and go straight over to WordPress or whatever you've linked it to. So there's all sorts of things you can do with this. So many different things you can automate with it. It's absolutely amazing. So what you can also do here is if you go to the templates gallery inside make.com, what you're going to find is if you select the AI section here, there's all sorts of crazy stuff you can build and automate using DeepSeek. And all you do is replace, for example, ChatGPT directly with OpenRouter. So for example, if we're having a look at this, we're like, right, okay, what we're going to connect to, what we're going to connect. You know, you can have, for example, social media automations, translation automations, You can post directly to social media. So there's actually like automation that takes your WordPress blogs and then posts them over to Twitter. And there's loads of cool stuff. And then if you want to just try one out, you can click on try it over here. And then if you want to use these make templates, all you need to do is just make sure you have all these things connected, and then you can create a scenario from the template, right? So you need to make sure you have these connections set up first, do the guided setup, and then from there, you can actually use the template. And yeah, pretty amazing stuff. You can post to like LinkedIn, Facebook, etc. Automate your WordPress directly. What happens if you don't just want to automate apps, but you actually want to automate, for example, the building of websites, tools, etc.? So I'm going to show you a really interesting way to do this locally on your laptop. Now, if you want to automate, for example, websites, apps, one of the best ways to do that is to download Visual Studio Code, then go to extensions and type in Klein. Now, Klein will allow you to access DeepSeek's API directly. So you just install it as an extension, and then once that's done, you can scroll down to Klein over here. And inside Klein, if we go to Settings, pop in your OpenRouter API key, select DeepSeek R1, hit done, and then you can create whatever projects you want. So for example, inside Klein, here's a project I actually built out recently for a SEO agency, like you can see. So we say create a website for Julian Gold's SEO agency. Here's all the details, really personalize it to us and our brand, etc. It went off, created the file. The whole project actually cost $0.7. So super cheap there, 70 cents to build out a whole agency website. And then if you want to open up the index HTML, you can ask Klein to run it for you, execute the command, or you can just drag it into your browser like you can see. And that is our website ready to go, right? Super clean, super nice, all customized to me and my business. Nice little get in touch section there, free strategy session, SEO services, etc. All right, and you can do that locally with OpenRouter. Again, just plug in your API key, select the right model that you want, boom shakalaki, you're off to the races. So if you want to get access to some of my best DeepSeekMake.com automations, you can get that inside my free SEO course along with the video notes from today. And additionally, if you scroll down to SEO systems inside our free SEO course, link in the comments description, and then scroll down from there to DeepSeek R1, there's tons of great automations and prompts right there, along with another section on how to basically build anything using DeepSeek. Now, every single lesson inside this free course comes with a video tutorial plus video notes and step-by-step SOPs. So feel free to get that link in the comments description. Additionally, if you want to get a free one-to-one SEO strategy session, feel free to book that in. We'll show you how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 visits a month and generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales on autopilot. On this free link building acceleration session, you'll get a free SEO domination plan. So you will discover how to generate more lead sales and profits from your website. You'll discover a tried and tested and proven link building strategy. You can ask our world-class SEO experts about any questions that you're facing. You'll learn the best link building strategy for your website, plus how to quickly outrank your competitors in link building, and how to 10x SEO traffic based on what's working for us. Feel free to get that link in the comments description, and hope to speak with you soon. I'm going to show you how to get DeepSeek R1 to control your computer for free using this powerful locally hosted add-on called WebUI, Browser WebUI. So what you can do is inside the agent settings, you can choose between the agent types, a custom or org. I'm going to stick with org. Then we're going to go to LM configuration, and this is how we're going to set it up. Now, when you're using this, and I'll show you how to install all of this in a second, you can select Ollama. You're not going to use DeepSeek directly. You're going to use Ollama because that is free and it can be hosted locally. Then you've got the model name, then you've got the base URL. And from here, you can also edit the browser settings. For example, you can say like keep the browser open, window height, window width, etc. Then from here, you can run the agent. And basically this agent then can go off and do anything you want. Now, if we go down to our terminal, we've got two different windows open. As you can see, we have WebUI set up running locally here. And then we have DeepSeek R1, the latest version of DeepSeek, the reasoning model that's basically like a O1 competitor, but free, inside this terminal right here. So you can see I've tested it. It's running the command right there, and you can see this is running. So let me show you how to set it up, and then let me show you how the computer use agent is powerful and how you can get it to basically run anything. So let's get straight onto this. So first place you're going to start is by installing browser use WebUI, right? And it's quite simple and easy to set up. So all you're going to do is copy the commands. If you struggle at any point when you're typing this into terminal, like you can see, then what you can actually do is you can actually grab the whole instructions from the GitHub, like you can see, then I plug it into Claude, and I just say like how to install this, right? And for me, for example, it just worked perfectly first time, and then we've got that running. So that is step number one, all right? And then from here, you can easily just start using web browser, pretty simple and easy to do. Just plug in the LLM configuration and then run the agent. And if you want to set it up for DeepSeek, then let me show you how to do that. All right. So first thing you're going to do is make sure you have Llama installed. You can download it for free. And from here, you can start installing any sort of model you want with AI for free locally. All right. Once you got that installed, then you're going to install DeepSeek R1. So if you just go search models, type in DeepSeek R1, you can install this model pretty simply. And then from here, we can go directly into a new terminal window like so, and just type that command. Now, I've already installed it locally, so I'm not going to do that, but it is pretty amazing that you can install this locally. I mean, if you type in the command Llama space list, you can see all the models you've installed locally recently. So for example, I've got DeepSeek R1, R1 latest, and Quen Coda 2.5 latest installed locally so that I can run them at any time. Now what you can do is just type in the command run DeepSeek latest, and that will start running it for you. So if I say, what model are you? You can see it says, hi, I'm DeepSeek 1, an AI assistant independently developed by the Chinese company DeepSeek, blah, 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 right? And so we've got WebUI running locally, and we've got DeepSeek R1 running locally. Then if you want to set this up inside the LLM configuration for your web browser, use WebUI. Then what you can do is here, go to Llama, then you're going to select the model name as DeepSeek-R1 latest. The base URL is going to be this. And then once you set it up, you can easily just put in your prompts in your instructions to the agent and then hit run agent. And what that will do is just start running the browser session for you. Pretty simple. You can get all of this set up in minutes. I spent a lot of time researching this so that you could just follow the instructions. If you want the exact step-by-step instructions, I've included it inside the video notes from today, link in the comments description. Just log into the free course, then go to AI agents, and then go to DeepSeek R1. So you can follow the exact same commands I use to get this set up so that you can just save a lot of time and just copy and paste. That was super simple and easy to use. Now, at this point as well, you might be saying, okay, but is all of this free? So browser use WebUI is free. Llama is completely free. Using the LLM configuration that I've shown you for DeepSeek R1 is completely free. If you actually want to get like the best out of this model, I would actually recommend using Gemini, right? So that is another free API you can use as well. So if you go to aistudio.google.com, create API key, you can actually get the latest new releases from Google AI Studio, but however you want it, you can set this up. And then, for example, if you want to use Gemini, we can say, for example, Gemini Flash Experimental, plug in the API key, and we should be good to go. So, for example, if we're using Gemini Flash Thinking, it's now analyzing the page, it's Googling OpenAI, it's searching through, it's going to grab the link in a second. And one of the best things about using the Gemini Flash Experimental API is that you can just, it has vision, right? So you can actually look at the screen, see what's going on, and then use that to generate responses. Plus, it's pretty fast when you use it. But like I've shown you, you know exactly how to use, for example, Quen, Llama, whatever you want to use. And then if we go down to the results section over here, what you can see is it's got the final result. So it says the first URL from the search results is openai.com. And we've actually got the screen recording from this session, right? So you can see here how it's analyzing the page with this video. We can watch back the video, see what the agent did. We can actually just do work in the background whilst this is running as well, because it's on a separate tab. But yeah, super easy and powerful to do. Inside the browser settings as well, you can choose where you want to record your videos. So when you get the results and the recordings previously, you can choose exactly where they're saved locally. So this is pretty amazing because the number one, you can run R1 locally completely for free using Llama. Number two, you can have a free AI agent. You don't need to pay, for example, like $200 like I did recently for ChatGPT Operator, which is constrained in many ways. Like, for example, it's actually blocked from going on YouTube. Number three, you can use any sort of API you want, whether that's DeepSeek, Quen, OpenAI, Llama, whatever you want to use directly inside the LLM configuration. And number four, this is all completely free and easy to set up because you can steal all the video notes and instructions directly from me. So let me show you a few use cases for this powerful model. So let's say, for example, go to google.com, find me the cheapest flights from Bangkok to the UK in July, right? Hit run agent. That's going to open up a new tab. Completely handless, as you can see. Now it's navigating over to Google and it's typed in really quickly, actually, cheapest flights from Bangkok to the UK in July. It can actually get rid of the pop-ups. So it can click off the pop-ups as well, which is pretty nice. And bear in mind, like ChatGPT Operator, which again is $200 a month. That's $2,400 per year. That is constrained so much, like it can't really use Google Maps and it's actually blocked from using YouTube. And it gets stuck in these endless feedback loops, right? Whereas, for example, these sort of APIs, whether you're using Gemini Flash Thinking, which is actually the one I recommend, or DeepSeek Reasoning 1, etc., which is a lot slower because it's obviously thinking out every step. like a chess grandmaster in AI, then, for example, when you're using this process, it's much faster, much easier, and it can actually do the research you need. So, for example, now it's grabbing the flights, it's found the details for us. And the other cool thing about this as well is that you will get a report on the results once this is done. So, for example, for research, for analyzing flight prices, it's actually not too bad at all. You'll actually get like an estimation on the task time as well. And I'm going to just click off the browser right there for now. And then, for example, you can see that we can just do stuff in the background, click through the settings, etc., whilst we're waiting for that to load. Now, so we've covered the basics now, flights, Googling, whatever, right? Pretty simple stuff. Doesn't impress me that much. Now I'm going to try this prompt, and you will get access to all the prompts inside the video notes from today. But if we say go to Llama Coder, direct chat, and start building out an SEO agency website. Be prepared to wait and be patient. We'll just simplify that just for the sake of speed. So simple landing page, one page website. And from here, we're going to run the agent. Now you can see it's already navigated to Llama Coder. It's analyzing the page. It's prompting the coder and the AI to start building out that project. And then it's just going to wait on the page, right? So the good thing about this is it doesn't get trapped in like open loops. It doesn't struggle. It can build out almost whatever you want. We're getting that project, right? So you're basically getting that computer use AI agent to build out other projects for you. And then you've got like a army of AI agents in the background working and using stuff together. Here's another example. So here we're going to build out a landing page in a SaaS business. And by the way, if you've never used this tool, it's like a free version of Bolt. Just creates really simple coding projects, and you don't need to log in or anything like that. If you ever want to stop this at any time, if you want to stop the agent, you can just click stop, and that will stop anything that's running in the background. Here I've actually instructed it to use the low quality option, just because that would be faster for coding as well. So something to bear in mind there. And here we have a to-do list app built out. Pretty nice there. You could also ask the agent to just download the code for you as well, and then actually give it back to you so you can use it to build whatever you want later. But essentially, you can get this to just build whatever you want, right? Pretty wild. The AI can build apps with AI, code openly, create something quite nice. Let's test if that works. We'll hit add here, and you can see the app actually works perfectly. So simple apps, simple websites, landing pages, etc. This agent can do directly. Let's test something else now. So we're going to say, okay, go to YouTube, do a competitor analysis on Julian Goldie SEO, hit run agent, and let's see if it can openly explore YouTube. Okay. So it's typing into YouTube now, and then it's looking through the results. Funny that Udemy are actually advertising my content. It's having a cheeky gander through the shorts. Must be a TikTok lover. And then if we go back to results, now that's done. But one thing I recommend is asking for a report back. Otherwise, just being transparent with you. It literally just said, I have completed the competitor analysis, but it didn't give me any information. So just something to bear in mind there. If you just make sure it actually gives you a report back on all the details. So we'll test that again. And now if we go back to results, we scroll down, it's giving us a little breakdown there. It says, all right, competitor analysis report, Julian Gold SEO subscribers. Here's what the channel's about. Here's his latest videos. And here's the content focus. Actually, what's interesting is it realized that I was including a link to a free SEO strategy session in each video as well. And you can actually see here like the thought process behind it, plus the actions taken, right? So you can see all the details along with the video recording too. So pretty awesome stuff there. That's basically how you can set up a DeepSeek R1 AI agent completely for free, host it locally, get it to use your browser, and control your whole laptop. The other thing to note here is if we go into the terminal, you don't just get computer use agent, but you can actually use DeepSeek R1 complete directly on local as well. So for example, if we're like, give me the code for an SEO cost calculator, it's going to start going off, building that directly inside terminal using OLAP. The final thing that I was going to say was that another way to get a free API is to go to Cluster AI, and they have an offer where you can get $100 worth of free credits. So all you have to do is verify your email address and you'll get $100 worth of free credits. Once you've done that, then you can go to Playground, go to DeepSeek R1, and then you can use DeepSeek R1 via the API. Now, if you need an API key, you just scroll down to API keys, issue a new API key, and you can get a completely free one. Some people are going to say, is it actually free, etc. You can see I did this just an hour ago, right? So I got $100 worth of free credits using the API. Then you can plug that directly into browser use web UI. If you want to know the right settings for that, basically you would use the OpenAI dropdown. So you go to LLM configuration, OpenAI, Then inside here, you're going to type in DeepSeek-AI/DeepSeek-R1, and then that's the endpoint that you would put inside the base URL right there. So thanks so much for watching. For all the video notes from today, including all the instructions on how to set up Web UI, Olama, the LLM configuration, etc., plus a step-by-step SOP on how to use all of this, and some of my best prompts, you can get all the video notes from today inside my free SEO course, link in the comments description. Go to AI agents, then DeepSeek R1 agents, and you can get access to all the video notes from today. And inside this free SEO course, there's tons of amazing stuff, including keyword research, link building, topical maps, EAT, traffic diversification, AI SEO systems, and AI agents. So it's pretty amazing what you get in there. There's over 225 lessons. And additionally, if you want to get a free one-to-one SEO strategy session, feel free to book them. We'll show you how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 visitors a month and generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales on autopilot. On this free link building acceleration session, you'll get a free SEO domination plan to discover the secrets of SEO link building. Or answer any questions you have. You'll learn the best link building strategy for your website, plus how to quickly outrank your competitors to link building, and how to 10x your SEO traffic based on what's working for us. Here's how to build anything with DeepSeek R1. Alright, so first place you can start is go to DeepSeek, then you're going to go to chat.deepseek.com. I'll be showing you many different ways to automate and build anything you like with DeepSeek today. But let's start off inside the chat here. You're going to make sure that you have DeepSeek R1 selected, and you can also use the web search now as well. So if you select web search, you can also search the web. We'll come on to that in a minute. Now inside chat.deepseek.com, you can actually just run HTML with anything that you build directly in here. So if we say, for example, create a Space Invaders game, what it's going to do is, number one, plan out exactly how it's going to build it. So you can see the sort of inner monologue here. I need to create a Space Invaders game using Python and Pygame. Let me start by recalling the basic structure of a Pygame application. And then it's going to start off figuring out exactly how to build it, how to set up the bullets, the enemies, etc., collision detection, and then we can just build out a game in literally one single prompt, right? Absolutely amazing that you can do that. And again, this is all completely free. Like, you don't need to pay for any of this, and you just build whatever you want. It's never been easier to build websites, tools, apps, games, whatever you want, directly inside DeepSeek R1. Absolutely amazing tool. If you want to run it directly inside the chat, you can just say build it in HTML. What that'll actually do is take the Python code that you've got right here and turn it into HTML that you can run directly inside the chat. So you'll see a run HTML option right there, and then once this is finished coding, which won't take long at all, we can then run the HTML for the game that we've just built. And you can use this process with DeepSeek R1 to basically do anything like this. The good thing about DeepSeek R1 is that it's a reasoning model, right? So it's got logic. It's very good at coding, very good at planning things out, very good at reasoning. If we click on run HTML here, you can see we've got the game ready to go. I can scroll between, I've got the enemies coming in towards me, and I've got the green thing that I can just move around right here, right? Pretty amazing, just worked perfectly first time round. And we just built a game that used to take coders literally dozens, if not hundreds of hours to build. So pretty amazing stuff right there. And that was just one of the methods, all right? So use chat.com. Make sure you have DeepThink selected, and then from there you can start using whatever you want. Now, another way to build anything you want directly with DeepSeek R1, so you can actually download it from Olama and then run it locally on your laptop, right? So you can have the AI running locally on your laptop. You don't need to use the web, and obviously any sort of projects you create are stored offline. So if you want to do that, all you do is you go to olama.com, download this, it's completely free, and then if you type in DeepSeek here, you'll see DeepSeek R1 pop up, right? And this is the latest model from DeepSeek. Now, there are actually many distilled models. Distilled models are basically the reasoning patterns of larger models distilled into smaller models so that you can have better performance compared to the reasoning patterns discovered. But these are fine-tuned so that you can run them locally, right? And these can be quite a lot smaller. So you can see the benchmarks here in terms of how it compares, say, versus OpenAI O1 Mini. You've got DeepSeek version 3, DeepSeek R1, and you can see DeepSeek R1 is basically smashing all the benchmarks right there. Now, if you want to run this locally, once you've installed Olama, make sure that you've got it open, all right? So you can just press Command and space, type in Olama, open up Olama 2, we're good to go. And you can see it in the top right there as the icon. Make sure you've got that running. Then what you're going to do is you're going to copy this, open up terminal, and literally all you do is you just copy and paste that command, right? From here, we've got DeepSeek R1 running. For example, if I say, what model are you? It says, I'm DeepSeek R1, an AI assistant independently developed by the Chinese company DeepSeek Inc. And so we've now got Deep running locally in what? Literally 2 clicks. So simple and easy to do. You can actually download loads of different models from Ollama, and all of these are free to run. So for example, like Gwen, Llama, Code Llama, whatever you want basically. You can see like it's an almost endless list of different AI models that you can install. Right. Now, once you've installed it locally and you've got it running, like you can see, we can start building whatever we want. So what you can see in here is I actually asked DeepSeek R1, what are you doing, etc. And we've got this running. Now, what I've said is create a beautifully designed SEO cost calculator, keyword equals cost calculator, link out to this page, here's the brand colors, add some content on the page. It started doing that straight off the bat. It's actually pretty fast and responsive, and we've got the code being created for the HTML page right there. And the other thing to note here is like you've got many different models distilled for DeepSeek R1. So for example, I'm using the 7B model. That's pretty fast and light and quick to use. You can go all the way down to the 671B model. That is 404 gigabytes to install. So obviously it's going to take a lot longer to install, and it's going to require more memory to run it. So it's just going to be a lot slower when you're running it offline, unless you have some super powerful laptop, right? So honestly, I would recommend the 7B model for what you want. And we've got the code being built out there. It's actually finished now. So let's grab that HTML. We can actually preview it, right? So let me grab this, and if you want to preview this stuff, we can just paste that code in right there, and we have the HTML preview of the website we just built using DeepSeek R1 local. Super simple, easy to use, built out quickly, and that didn't take long at all. That's the second method, right? So method number 1 was with chat.deepseek.com. That's probably the simplest and fastest way to build out stuff, and also to leverage the full power of it, right? You can also run it locally using Ollama. Then you go into terminal. You're just going to type in Ollama run DeepSeek-R1. Once you've installed it, then you're going to have DeepSeek R1 ready to go. And sometimes I just leave it in the background and then come back to it when I need to. And then it can build out whatever you want. So we built out Space Invaders using chat.deepseek.com. We built out a one-page website using the local version of DeepSeek. It's absolutely amazing. You can do all of this stuff. I don't have any coding experience, but I feel like I could code most of the basic things I've got ideas for using this process. Now, we can also build things using a combination of DeepSeek R1 and Bolt DIY. This is great for building out tools, any apps, that sort of thing, because Bolt DIY is purposely created for that, right? And it can actually launch multiple different AI models directly inside here, including the latest version of DeepSeek R1. It's pretty simple. You can just host it locally. Let me show you exactly how to do this. So I'm going to shut down Ollama, then we'll shut down terminal, and then we're going to open up a new window of terminal, and we're just going to grab the commands from the page like you can see right here. So let's paste this in. You're going to clone the GitHub, then you're going to take this command. And again, this is free as well, right? So every method that I've covered so far is completely free. All right, Bolt DIY is free, chat.deepseek is free, Ollama is free, all right? All these methods are completely free. So now we've launched that inside the terminal, just copying and pasting the commands from the GitHub page. We can open up this URL, and the reason that we would use Bolt to build something out is that it's purposely designed for just bringing ideas to life, right? So for example, let me show you a previous project we've built using Bolt. One of the good things about Bolt is if you go to the left and inside the chat, all the projects that you built previously, you can see inside the chat right here. So for example, like keyword research tools, content readability analyzer tools, meta tag generators, content optimizer tools, landing pages, etc. Whatever you want to build, you can do it inside Bolt. And for example, this is a to-do list app. If we test this out, we can add test to-do list app, and now building SaaS tools is basically achievable for anyone, right? Like you don't need coding experience for doing this, right? And so basically, if you want to start using DeepSeek R1 inside here, you would actually use something called Open Router. Now, if you want to get access to Open Router, I'll show you how to do that in a sec. What you don't want to do is you're not going to select DeepSeek because it doesn't have the models that you want, right? So instead, you're going to select Open Router, and then this is so many different AI models, a little bit like Ollama, but it's not stored locally. And then, for example, we can choose R1 or R1 distilled. Now, to get this set up and working inside Bolt, all you do is you go to openrouter.ai, then you're going to go to keys, grab an API key from this section right here. OpenRouter is a paid API, but it doesn't cost a lot of money, as you can see. Like, it's less than $1. It's super cheap to use. We actually go to my usage, off top $10. I've absolutely rinsed it. I YouTube about this stuff every single day, and I've used cents, right? So it's pretty hard to spend your whole credits, honestly. Now, from here, inside Bolt, you just go to your settings. Then you're going to go to providers inside your settings. You can see all these different AI models that you can use, and make sure you have OpenRouter selected. Then from here, you're good to go. You can also host this with Llama as well, and then you can select OpenRouter, select DeepSeek, and you're good to go. So for example, here I've said create a beautiful synth keyboard app, and I'll help you create that beautiful synth keyboard app using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. We'll use a web audio API for sound synthesis and Byte for the development environment. Now it's coding off the whole project, so it's created the index HTML package, style CSS. It's basically just building out the whole app using the one single prompt that I've used, and you can see we have DeepSeek R1 selected down here. Again, this is a distilled model just because it's a lot faster. You could use the main model of R1, but I think it'd be a lot slower and it wouldn't be as effective in this situation. And now it's come back with the synth keyboard. So pretty easy and simple to set up the synth keyboard. Like you see, it's a nice little app ready to go there. And then also we can go over to the code section and you can actually push this to GitHub for free. Also you can download the code and then you can host it with something like Netlify, so that you can get your website, your app, or your tool hosted on a custom domain. Really simple and easy to do. You just download the code, drag and drop the folder directly into Netlify, boom shakalaka. You live in the dream, my friend. So just to recap, we've covered how to build anything with DeepSeek Chat. We've also covered how to run this locally and then build tools and apps and websites using that process. And additionally, we've covered how to build with Bolt, local, which is super powerful. You can also use it with a lot of free APIs, and additionally, you can download the code. And this is custom made for building like apps, tools, websites, etc. Let's move on to how you can automate anything now using DeepSeek R1. So to do that, you're going to go to make.com. Make.com is an automation tool where you can easily build sort of any workflows you want. So for example, if we go into make.com here, then we're going to navigate to scenarios. Inside scenarios, you can see all these custom-made tools that I've built, and a couple of ones that I've recently done with DeepSeek R1 this week. Number one, an email virtual assistant that can automate my emails that come in and answer them and that sort of thing. So basically, it's taking my email inbox, running it through DeepSeek via OpenRouter, and then plugging it back into Gmail to create a draft. Here's another example. So you can see we are taking some keywords from a Google Sheet. We're plugging that through DeepSeek R1. So we've got the model selected as DeepSeek R1, and then that's sending the output directly to WordPress to plug in a blog. Let me show you how to set all of this up. And by the way, make.com is actually free for a certain amount of automations. So it's pretty easy and simple to use. The way that you would set this up is you add a new module. So for example, let's say you want to take a Google Sheet, then you can connect that data over to OpenRouter. So we can type in OpenRouter over here, create a chat completion, add in your credentials, and then make sure you have DeepSeek R1 selected. Now again, DeepSeek Distill R1 is going to be much faster than the main version of DeepSeek R1. Just something to bear in mind when you're using the API here. And then once you've done that, you can connect it to whatever app you want. And your only real limit in terms of building tools with make.com is your imagination, because you can connect it to almost anything right here. Now, once you've done that, like you can see, basically what this is going to do, let me show you an example. So we'll choose a keyword manually from our Google Sheet. So it's going to take the data from the Google Sheet. So for example, Newark SEO. Then it's going to plug that through OpenRouter via DeepSeek R1. Then once that's done, it's going to plug it into WordPress. So let me show you exactly how this works step by step. So we're going to run this. It's going to take the keyword like it's done from the Google Sheet. Now it's running the keyword with my custom-made prompt for creating content directly through OpenRouter. Now you can get a module for DeepSeek inside make.com, but I find it's very error prone. It doesn't seem to work first time most of the time, and it's a bit of a nightmare to use, honestly. So I'd recommend using OpenRouter directly. And once that's done, you're going to see an example like this. So it's going to be plugged into my drafts inside WordPress. And you can see it's customized everything for our business using the custom-made prompt. It's even got the internal links inside the content, which is pretty nice for SEO. Super easy and simple to do using the prompts that I've given you. And also it's funneling traffic to funnel pages, right? So for example, it says booking a call or join the SEO Elite Circle inside our article that we just automated using DeepSeek R1. Pretty amazing stuff, super powerful, and you can build almost anything that you want using this process. You can also see the outputs. So once this automation is finished, you can see the automation choices from the output. So it's actually outputted in HTML, and then WordPress has plugged that directly into our website. Pretty powerful stuff and really easy to do. Now, if you download Visual Studio Code, which is a free tool for your laptop, you can host this locally. And then once you've done that, if you open up Visual Studio Code like you see right here, then you're going to install Client as an extension. They've actually just got a brand new update, which is Client 3.25. Once you've installed that, Then you're going to go down to client on the bottom left here. And inside the settings, just make sure that you have your OpenRouter key set up, and you're going to select your favorite model of DeepSeek. And once that's done, we can easily start building out whatever we want, and you can just build out websites like you can see. Pretty easy and simple to do using the DeepSeek R1 method. Now, the other thing to note here is it's super cheap when you're using the API from OpenRouter. So you can see this costs us $0.0121, right? So like 1 cent to build out a whole web page and get it designed step by step. And you can basically build anything you want. Like you could say, okay, build me a synth keyboard, build me a to-do list app, whatever you want to build, you can do it directly inside Climb. The final method that I want to show you is how to build your own sort of ChatGPT operator, right? So obviously ChatGPT operator, it came out recently, it's like $200 a month, and it's very restricted in terms of what it can do and how free it is. If you use something like browser use web UI, you actually get a lot more freedom and it can basically do anything. For example, when you're using ChatGPT operator, you can't even access YouTube. But directly inside browser web UI with DeepSeek R1, you can. Let me show you how to set this up so you can build your own custom AI agents that can control your browser. So what I usually do, if it's a bit buggy or you can't figure out how to set it up on terminal, you can just grab all the content from the GitHub, go into Claude and just say how to set this up on a Mac. And it will usually work first time around if you just copy and paste these commands directly into terminal like you can see right here. So this is getting set up now. We've now got browser web UI running locally. And the next thing you want to do is just make sure you have Olama running again. And then from there, go into terminal, start a new window and run the command for terminal, which is Olama space run space DeepSeek -R1 latest. All right, that's going to set up. So now you've got two things running, which are Olama and DeepSeek R1, along with browser web UI. So if we now take that URL, open it up, you can see that we can go to LM configuration and we can get our agent to browser web, do whatever you want, and we just have to give it the instructions over here. So if you want to set this up with DeepSeek, honestly, DeepSeek is a little bit slow when you're using this process, then you would actually go to Olama. Inside here, you're going to use DeepSeek latest as the model. And then in the base URL, you're going to use the local host for Llama and just make sure it is running in the background. Once you've done that, you've got the LM configuration set up for DeepSeek R1, and now you can run your agent. So for example, if we click on run agent, it gives us the processing time, and you can see that it's opening up a new tab here. Additionally, if you go to results, you can see that the agent is working its magic in the background. Little pro tip for you here, I actually recommend using Google AI Studio for this process because it's got vision and it's a free API as well, so it's not going to cost you anything. And if you just go to create an API, grab the API key from AI Studio, copy that over, go back to LM configuration, select Gemini, and that'll be a lot faster when you're using this model. Either way, whether you're using DeepSeek R1 or whether you're using Gemini, you can run this agent. It's going to open up Chromium, which is a virtual environment for the AI agent to just go off and do its magic. Now you can see it's typing into Google, using our prompt, and it's actually pretty fast. Once it's done, you'll see a video of the agent, and you'll see the result from the AI agent getting back to you. And so now you know how to build anything with DeepSeek R1, whether it's locally inside the chat with Klein, Bolt DIY, Make.com, you can automate anything. And with browser web UI, you can build your own alternative to ChatGPT operator using DeepSeek R1. Absolutely amazing what you can do. If you want to get all the video notes from today, including all the step-by-step tutorials and access on exactly how to do all this stuff, get my free course, link in the comments description. And then if you log in, go to AI agents, all the step-by-step video tutorials on exactly how to do all this stuff in more detail for DeepSeek R1. Inside that free SEO course, you're also going to get a community of 3,500 members, a free SEO course, 50 free AI SEO tools, and 200 free ChatGPT prompts. Now, if you want to get a free one-to-one SEO strategy session that shows you how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 business a month and generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales on autopilot, feel free to book that in. On this free link building acceleration session, you'll get a custom tailored link building game plan so you can generate more leads, sales, and profits from your website. You'll discover the secrets of SEO link building, or answer any questions you have one-to-one. You'll learn the best link building strategy for your website, plus how to quickly outrank your competitors with link building, and how to 10x your traffic based on what's working for us and our happy clients. Feel free to put that in. How to automate anything with DeepSeek R1. Let me show you exactly how to do this. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to go over to N8N, and I'll be showing you many ways you can automate stuff with DeepSeek R1 to date. But the first method that we're going to start off with is NA10 because you can build your own agents using this and all sorts of crazy automation workflows, and you can get a 2-week trial, right? So if you want to start using this, just go to sign in, set up your account, set up your workspace. And then once you've done that, you're going to go to open workspace like you can see right here. This might seem technical when you first get started. Don't worry, it's not. It's super simple once you get your head around it. So we're going to create a workflow over here. And this is where our automation using DeepSeek R1 begins. So you're going to add a step. This is just a trigger for your automation that says, here's how to start the automation using DeepSeek R1. So if we click on add first step, we're then going to search through here. And these are all different automations you can set up. We're going to stick with chat trigger on a basic sort of automation. Once you've done that, we can leave this alone and we're just going to press escape. And now our chat message is ready to trigger the automation. And now we're going to click on plus. And basically what you can see is this is like a linear workflow where it's going to start from here and just work its way around. So if we want to set something up super basic with an automation using DeepSeek R1, inside here, we're going to type in AI agent. You click the plus sign, click on AI agent, and just add your AI agent directly into the process right here. You can choose all different types of agents, all different types of automations. We'll come on to that in a second and how you can use it. But the main thing you want to do from this method is click on the plus below chat model. So what you're going to see here, if we zoom in, is you can see chat model, and this is how you connect whichever AI you want, aka DeepSeek R1, to the AI agent to automate whatever you want, right? So inside the search nodes here, we're going to type in OpenAI. There's no DeepSeek functionality. So if we type in DeepSeek, there's nothing. So you want to make sure that you have OpenAI set up. And I'll show you exactly why that is in a second. So down here, we've actually connected OpenRouter. So let me show you what my credentials are for OpenRouter in a second. But you want to first click on Create New Credential. Now, if you're not sure what this is, basically, this is linking OpenAI's API functionality to the AI agent you just set up within NA10. And the reason you want to do that is because you're going to create a new credential and you're going to add your details for an open router. All right. OpenRouter AI has different models, as you can see, using DeepSeek. And if you go into your keys section, you can then create a new API key that you would just plug in down here. All right. Then you're going to add the base URL, which I'll show you how to set up in a second. So if we have a look at the existing credentials that I have set up, so OpenRouter login, click on edit, you can see that we've got the API key set up here and we have the base URL set up here. If you're not sure how to do any of this, I will create an SOP in step-by-step video notes so you can get free access to those at the end of the video. So inside the base URL section, we have openroute/API/v1 and then HTTPS at the beginning. And that connects OpenRouter to your OpenAI, and then you've got the API key that you grab from openrouter.ai/settings/keys, right? And then once that connection is set up, it will say connection tested successfully, and you have your credentials ready to go. Now, inside the model section, you will not find DeepSeek. So DeepSeek is not going to be inside there. What you're going to do is you're going to click on expression, right? So you've got a choice between fixed and expression. You click on expression, and inside here, you're going to go back to, you're going to search for DeepSeek R1, like you can see, and you're just going to copy this bit here, all right, that says DeepSeek/DeepSeek-R1. And this is going to connect your OpenRouter API to N8N using the DeepSeek model. And I'll show you how to make sure this is working in a second, but that's basically it. Now, what you're going to notice here is that it does have a not supported sign. Don't even worry about that, all right? Just make sure you have expression selected, make sure you have DeepSeek R1 selected, then you're going to press escape to get out of there. And if we test this out, so you can see the chat at the bottom, we're going to click on the chat, and then we're going to say, what model are you, Sunshine? All right? And then it's going to run DeepSeek R1 as a chatbot directly inside NA10. Now, we'll come on to how you can connect this to apps and build all sorts of crazy automations in a minute. But as a starting point, it's a learning point for figuring out how to use DeepSeek R1 inside your workflows. This is one of the best places you can use. Right? Now, it will take a little while to respond simply because it is a reasoning model. I'll show you how to get a faster version of this in a minute. That actually works way quicker when you're building automations. But if you just want to use like the pure DeepSeek R1 automation inside whatever you want, this is how you can do it. And we'll also come on to two different methods later in this video that are even simpler than this. But This is my preferred method because you can build all sorts of awesome AI agents, so you can link them to all sorts of apps. So we've got the response back from DeepSeek R1, as you can see, so that worked perfectly. And also, one thing you can do, if you want to make sure this is working and it's actually using the correct version of DeepSeek, if we go into activity inside OpenRouter, so go to openrouter.ai/activity, and inside here, you can see which models you used recently, right? So for example, if we click on this, you can see that we have used DeepSeek R1 to get the output that we wanted. We can also see the cost. So that cost was basically free because it cost us 0.0009 cents. Not even a cent, not even half a cent, right? So cheap, it's redonkulous. And you can see how much we've used right here. Now, if you want a faster version of DeepSeek inside your automation, you can type in DeepSeek R1 in the search of OpenRouter here, and we're just going to select DeepSeek R1 Distilled Llama. Now, essentially what this is a distilled version, DeepSeek R1, that's faster, but it uses another model. So you can see it's built on top of Llama 70B right there. So if we take this version of DeepSeek R1, we're going to go back to NA10. And if we want to plug this in, we'll click on the OpenAI chat model and just double click it if you want to get straight in there. And instead of having DeepSeek R1 models, we're going to override that with DeepSeek/DeepSeek R1 distill Llama 70B. Okay? And that is the model we're going to use. So now if we delete the chat, hide the chat, then we're just going to test this again. So you can see it's running nicely, and that was so much faster. And also previously when we were using the main version of DeepSeek R1, it took a lot longer. And also it said it was ChatGPT, right? Because it's using the OpenAI chat model. If we now use a distilled model, it says, hi, I'm DeepSeek R1, built by the Chinese company DeepSeek Inc., right? And that was a lot faster inside the automation, which means that we can actually build more stuff inside it, right? We can get better outputs, we can get faster outputs. Now, here's how you can connect this to any sort of app that you want, right? And you can actually connect multiple apps as well. So we could connect Gmail, we could add another tool here, and we can just look through the list and we're like, okay, let's get the calendar or let's get Airtable, etc., right? Even your Google Drive, you can insert directly here. All right. So now that you know how to set up the basics of an AI agent and you know how to speed it up using the distilled model, from here, what we can do is start automating, for example, like any sort of basic admin that you wanted to, right? So for example, let's say you want to automate reading your emails, breaking them down, or just having some sort of agent that you can ask about the latest emails you received. What you can do is inside here, you would click the plus sign, and then you can connect this to whatever app you want. So for example, we could say, okay, connect it to Gmail. And you can see here, I've actually connected my Gmail already. So you just click on create new. From here, if you want to connect your Gmail account, just click create new credential. And then inside there, you can connect your Gmail. And then, you can choose whether you want to draft, thread, label. I'm going to select messages for now. And then this operation allows us to look at all the emails that were received and get all our emails so that the AI agent can sift through them and start taking action. For example, if we take the operation get many, and then we can limit this just for the sake of speed and simplicity today. As this is an example, I'm just going to stick with one, but you could put 100 or 500 if you want to. Bear in mind, the more emails you allow the agent to look through, the longer the automation will take. So just something to be aware of there. And then if we X off here, what this AI agent is going to do if we just run the workflow is it's going to activate when it gets a message, look for our Gmail account and all our emails, run that through DeepSeek. We can chat with directly to get the outputs we want. Now, what we can also do from here is we can also, for example, have outputs, and also we can connect more apps. So inside here, we can connect even more apps and even add like a memory feature too. So inside this automation now, what we're going to do is click on chat. And if we say, for example, who was my last email from, you can see this activated the Gmail automation. What you can see right here inside the automation is we have the chat back. That came through super quickly. I've deleted the logs just to keep this private. And it's now giving us the details that this person came from Instagram Reels. Here's the details, here's the information about them, etc., where they came from. And basically it can retrieve any sort of information that you want from your emails directly. Pretty amazing stuff. So just to test this works, what we're going to do is we're going to take, for example, an email that I'm going to send as a test to myself. So I'm going to say, let's meet for lunch. Let's meet for lunch to discuss DeepSeek and the details about it. All right. Then we're going to send an email to ourselves. We're going to use the NA10 to basically automate all of this process. So if we run this chat, based on that workflow and that email, I'm going to say, okay, what's the latest email I've received? The email automation is going to work. It's super fast, as you can see, it absolutely flies through it. And it has retrieved the information of the email we just sent, right? And so this can look through your whole inbox, retrieve information. You can see the input here, and it's also written a email, which you can actually automate. I'll show you how to do that in a second. Okay, so what we're going to do now with this automation is we've got the chat running through Gmail, and inside the AI agent, we can now tell it to do certain tasks, and then we can send those outputs to wherever we want, right? So for example, if you take a Gmail account and you retrieve all your messages, run it through the AI agent, you can then say, for example, check my messages from, and then you just drag in the email details, which you can see on the left here. And then you say, you're my email assistant, write an email response to my emails, conversational, simple, get to the point, right? And then also, you can just put like no notes because it is a reasoning model. So you don't want it to explain itself. Just put no explanation, just write the email. And then make sure that you play this first, because then you'll get the outputs from the AI agent, which you can then map to Gmail. So for example, if we take the subject line and we're going to drag that from here into the subject line right there, we're then going to take the output directly from the AI agent into the message section. You can choose whether to send it live or draft it. I mean, obviously for this situation, this is experimental, so we're going to leave it as draft. And then what we can do is press escape, get out of there, and we'll just run this automation like you can see, step by step. So if I say, for example, check emails, that started the automation, everything's run through. It's send everything to Gmail, as you can see, step by step. And then if we check Gmail now, we have the email response with the email automated. Now you can clean up the automation and the mapping, or you can just do that manually, but you can see how easy that is to do step by step. You can also change this to message and then grab the email address like so, put that in the to section there, and then inside the email we've got that ready to go. And then you just clean up the prompt so you get the output that you want. But that's basically how you can automate anything using NA10. You can connect many different apps inside this section here. And if you want the AI agent to be able to read information, then you would put the apps here first before it goes to the AI agent. You can also, for example, link this to Telegram so that if you start a Telegram message, then the automation works. But either way, you can basically automate anything using DeepSeek R1 and this method right here. What I'm actually going to do is I will download the blueprint from today. And then if you want to import the JSON file, it will be inside the video notes for you to test out. And then once you finish, make sure you save so you don't lose any progress. And you can see how you can just build out anything you want to automate in literally minutes using this process. Now, what you can also do is you can automate using Zapier. So what we're going to do, for example, here is we're going to take transcripts of our phone calls. Then we're going to plug those directly through OpenRouter with DeepSeek R1. And then we can use that to create an email draft. Let me show you how that works step by step. So basically here you can see we're taking this app, Fathom, and you can change whatever app you want to use. So Fathom is an AI meeting note taker. And, there's all sorts of apps you can connect like Google Drive, etc. And then from here, we're going to have the trigger as like new meetings. Then we're going to add a new step called OpenRouter. So you can just search OpenRouter, plug that in, sign in with OpenRouter here inside the account section. Plug in your API key, now that's connected, and then inside the action event will generate a response, right? Basically what this is doing is it's taking the transcripts from my AI meetings. Again, you can use this for any app that you want. I just want to show you something interesting. Then it's going to generate a response with OpenRouter and DeepSeek R1. So if we go inside configure here now, we'll select the model as DeepSeek R1. You can choose between DeepSeek R1 and distilled. I'm just going to say write short follow-up email, keep all the client's names, URLs, anonymous, etc. Just use this as a demo. We can test this out, and now you can see the response written nicely. Then from here, you can map, for example, like all the information from the previous emails. So you can just click the plus sign and plug that in, and then it's going to write a draft email like you can see. So let's test this out now. We can retest a step. So inside the body here, you're going to select the response from OpenRouter, click on that. Then we can plug the AI response into the email body. We'll test that out now. And then inside here, you can see that it's written the follow-up email, the draft. So now we have the email draft, like you can see from the meeting, based on our meeting notes. One thing I'd recommend is like asking it to actually write in HTML, because this is written in Markdown, and you can see the format is a little bit messy. but it's easy to fix those little details when you test it more. And that was incredibly easy to just set up the automation using Zapier. And again, you can use this for whatever apps you want to connect. I mean, there's so many inside Zapier, it has a lot of capabilities. So we've covered how to automate anything you want using DeepSeek R1 and N8 and creating your own AI agents that way. You can also plug and create automations between different applications to DeepSeek R1 on Zapier as well. Let me show you the final method, which is inside. Now, Make.com is a good alternative to Zapier because it's a lot cheaper. In fact, you can get 1,000 operations for free. And you've seen how cheap the API is from DeepSeek R1. I mean, it costs us half a cent to do the automation before. Super cheap and easy to do. And what you can do in here as well is just build out your own automation. So if we go to scenarios, then we're going to go on create a new scenario. And inside here, you can just build out whatever sort of automation you want, right? So you can connect all these apps, kind of like Zapier, but it's a little bit easier to use, honestly. It's a little bit more user-friendly. So for example, if we want to connect Google Sheets, we can just click on that. Then we can connect, for example, OpenRouter again, like we've already done in this video, create chat completion, boom. And then we can connect the output really quickly. That is far quicker and simpler than using N8N. But obviously it's more limited, right? So for example, there's no chat feature directly inside Make.com. Now, if you want to see an example of this running, let me show you exactly how it works. So you can see, for example, we've done like auto blogging tools, video transcription automations, social media distribution automations, etc. And the one that I'm going to show you now is the DeepSeek R1 content creator. And basically what we're doing here is we're taking keywords from a spreadsheet. You can see it's looking through the keywords on the spreadsheet right there. Then that's plugging it through OpenRouter. And you just set up a connection like I showed you earlier. You can take dynamic fields. So for example, this is taking the keyword from step 1. It's using DeepSeek Distilled to speed things up. And this is going to send it to WordPress to automatically publish content. Let me show you how this works. So if we click on choose where to start on the Google Sheet, we can choose manually and say, right, I want to start from this keyword right here. We'll click on save. Then we're going to hit run once. That's taking the keyword from the Google Sheet, plugging it through OpenRouter. Once that's done, you're going to see a draft pop up like this. So this was literally just created now. And then if we go to preview the blog, you can see the blog post right here with the internal links inserted, all the formatting really nice, bullet points, etc. And everything's customized as well based on this process. Now, if you want to see how much that costs to create the article, well, number one, Make.com is free for 1,000 operations. And then if you go back to OpenRouter, activity, scroll down, you can see that article right there that we just created using this automation cost us 0.0, right? So what's that, 20% of a cent? It's just ridiculous. So cheap. You can see we used a DeepSeek R1 distilled model with Llama. You can use the main model if you want, but obviously it's going to take more time. And that is basically how you can automate anything with Make and DeepSeek R1 as well. So thanks so much for watching. You now know how to automate anything building AI agents with N8N or connecting apps inside Zapier or building custom automation workflows using Make.com. You can connect all of these to loads of different apps, all your favorite apps, and it's really simple to do. Now, what I've actually done is inside the video notes, I've created an SOP for every single method with all the instructions, so it's super simple and easy to follow in case you or your team want to follow this. And that's inside my free SEO course, link in the comments description. You'll find the video notes inside there, along with 227 lessons on how to do SEO, including automations, AI agents, free SEO systems, AI SEO workflows. When you sign up as well, you also get access to 3,500 other AI SEOs just like you, who you can ask for support, as you can see right here inside the community. Additionally, inside the classroom, you'll get access to another SEO course, 50 free SEO tools, and 200 free ChatGPT prompts, just to say thanks for signing up. And if you want to get a free one-to-one SEO strategy session, feel free to book that in. We'll show you how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 visits a month and generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales on autopilot. On this free link building acceleration session, you'll get a free SEO domination plan. So you'll get a custom tailored link building plan so you can generate more sales and leads from your website. You'll discover the secrets of SEO link building. We'll answer any questions you have one-to-one, so you can just ask us any questions completely free. And also, you'll learn the best link building strategy for your website, along with how to quickly outrank your competitors in link building and how to 10x your SEO traffic based on what's working for us and our happy clients like you see right here. Feel free to put that in, link in the comments description. Appreciate you watching. Bye-bye.